Morning, traders. So, quite a day, quite a rally in the euro to begin. So obviously, you know, the market was sort of waiting for this, waiting for this eurozone election, French election, to get out of the way, because that was a key sort of concern this year for European politics anyway. Was that the French elections were going to go populist, and you might see Le Pen do better than expected, leading to potential French referendums and all that ongoing issues that we've got from UK and Greece. Now, that didn't happen, so it's sort of a big sigh of relief. Actually, much bigger than I expected. Even though I was bullish on the euro, I did not expect a 300 or 400 point rally in the euro yen to begin the week. I was expecting much more gentle, so maybe open up 118 and then a grind higher throughout. So in terms of where we've got to, we've got a significant part of the sort of uptrend done in the first day. So you got to be a little bit careful here, because the 123 level, which held previously, is not that far away in terms of checking your risk rewards on entries. Now I have entered on the dip here, euro yen, and I do like it. I do think we're going higher, but there's definitely some risk this week, and we've got to talk about them for this particular trade and how it plays out. In terms of risk on, it's stocks are strong, dollar yen strong, Aussie dollar in the back of that is pretty strong. Dollar yen opened above 110. Now euro and dollar yen rallying at the same time is pretty weird. Pound and dollar yen rallying at the same time is great for this euro yen trade idea as well, which is long the pound yen, which is broken 140. And there's that trade was good to go without this euro led risk on rally. The pound yen, it looks nice as well. It's broken above 140 and it bought the dip too. So look, everything's working together, which makes it very hard to sort of stop this rally. But definitely this week there's some risk. Now, half the reason the dollar yen is higher today is because of Trump's tax plan talk over the weekend and on Friday. Now that tax plan is supposed to be released on Wednesday. Now, if it comes across as low on detail, or it comes across as unachievable, perhaps the dollar yen will not, will suffer, and the US dollar in general. If the market turns on Trump, and that's very possible because he's a lot of talk, not much action, and definitely, doesn't seem to be able to get things through, big things through the Congress just at the moment anyway, right? If this in any way looks like it's another dead on arrival, sort of like his Obamacare repeal and replace that was such a big failure. If it looks like this is just never going to get through and Democrats aren't part of it, and all you see is some sort of Republican concern with the tax cuts, then so especially say Tea Party, if they don't like the way that they're funding, or if there's just a funding shortfall in general, you could see some counterintuitive sort of reversals here that will wreck a fair bit of the technical structure on the dollar yen and on the yen crosses. So risk off is potentially a big threat come Wednesday, but that's still 2 days away, so we can sort of relax and enjoy the risk on rally, and stocks look like they're going higher. DAX continued higher towards its key sort of resistance level, which is 12.4 and change above. If you look at the previous, God, I've got to go back to a monthly from way back in the initial. So we're right there, touching this bad boy. It's probably going to go higher. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to stop a rally like this. Now there's no reason to be short, that's for sure. So that opens the door for further risk on, right? Now in general, the DAX rallying doesn't really help the euro, but when it's pro eurozone news, yeah, it's probably going to be okay. I mean, it's not, in this case, it's not ECB doing something which hurts the euro and helps stocks rally. This case is just, straight up good Eurozone news politically. So I think the euro is going to be fine for a rally to 110 this week, and potentially higher than 110 if the US dollar starts to get sold on Trump issues. So in the scenario where Trump doesn't do well this week, dollar yen goes back down, and euro gets a second leg higher than 110, just on the back of that risk off. Yeah. So Euro USD is an interesting play this week. So is pound. Pound's been consolidating. It's got room to the top side too, and it will get a leg higher as well. But euro is a straight up play on the back of any sort of Trump disappointment. But in the meantime, euro yen's a faster moving euro cross, and potentially is probably better in the short term. Maybe later we recycle into, maybe have a bit of both, right? A bit of dollar, euro yen, bit of euro. Both should do well, and depending on what happens with Trump's tax plan. Now, if Trump's tax plan comes in, super achievable and just the right mix hits it, and the market gets all excited and US stocks rally, dollar yen's going to outperform, and perhaps the euro rally will be capped by 110. But we have to wait and see that. So I don't think that the euro is going to suffer a massive reversal on the back of US dollar strength, but it might not be the cleanest way of expressing, and then it'll be dollar yen, which will firmly get back into the 111, 115 sort of range, if it's a good tax plan. So this is, it's a pretty pivotal week how we play it. But in short term anyway, next 24 hours, 48 hours, we're playing euro yen, euro USD to the long side as the cleanest sort of expression of our trade, and then we can cycle into something else. I did pick up some euro yen on the dip here, and I will be watching it for the next 24, 48 hours. I do like 123. It's a topside target for this week. I doubt Trump's going to intentionally come out with a crazy tax plan, right? I don't think he'd bring it forward so early if it was totally unachievable, but you never know. He's politically novice, yeah? So Kiwi yen, the trade we did last week, and the pound trade we did last week are both still running, both looking nice. Kiwi yen's finally moved higher with dollar yen and risk on. Aussie yen would look very similar to the Kiwi yen. I just like the Kiwi a bit more than the Aussie at the moment because of the iron ore slump. This trade will get short-circuited if Trump's tax plan is no good, but in the short term we can easily get take profit hit before then. Alright, so we'll just wait and see how that develops this next 24 hours. Alright, so I hope that makes sense, guys. Strong euro, but just beware that there's a big announcement coming early on March 26th, April 26th, and that can sort of change where we go from here. Another reason, sorry, I didn't even talk about one of the big sort of stories as well this week. The day after that tax plan, we do get the ECB. Now the ECB, we're dealing with a central bank that last meeting came out and came across surprisingly hawkish. The market took it as a sign, and yields started to rally, and the bottom was in, and then a few days later the ECB came out and said, you guys misunderstood us and we're not happening, blah 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 blah, and the euro was sold aggressively, remember. That was this sell-off after the market initially rallied, and they're probably going to come out try and be dovish again, so they as well can put a cap on the euro. And if with the yields starting to creep higher again in the Eurozone, then they're probably going to attempt that. Whether that works, whether the ECB can do it, combined with how the tax plan goes across, is whether we're going towards 115 for the euro in coming weeks, or if we continue to play a range bound 110, maybe 108 sort of range. If the ECB does manage to talk down the euro successfully, Draghi's pretty good at it. Remember we had like 12 ECB meetings in a row where Draghi was able to talk down last year, yeah, then I would probably be looking to buy into that dip. You know, it's a nice opportunity, right? Just a little bit of jawboning from the central bank. Market goes from 110 down to 108.50 or something like this. Then I'd be happy to be looking into that, especially if the market's unsure about taxes, Trump's tax plan. But that's something we can talk about later in the week. Yeah, that's not something we have to talk about just yet. It's just another little added spice element that the ECB is going to be playing a little bit later. And there's also the chance that they, you know, unsuccessfully jawbone, and then the euro continues its rally. So we will, you know, you don't always get that nice little dip down, but an artificial dip down later in the week would probably be a good opportunity to get it. Yeah, look, I think Trump is. I see what you're saying, Potter. You know, I think expectations are pretty low, aren't they? So I don't know. I mean, with expectations so low, perhaps he can pull across something nice. I mean, he's got good advisors. I think this is tax plan's been put forward by Steve Mitchin, I believe it was. He ain't no slouch. He was an ex-Goldman Sachs partner, I believe. You don't get there. You know, that's, you don't chance that, right? It's not like saying Trump's a good businessman and not really believing it. If you're a partner at Goldman Sachs, you're gone. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, he's also not politically right. He's just another ring-in for Trump. And it's at the end of the day, it comes down to sort of what they can get past Congress. I think there's still arguments about who's paying for the wall as well. So there's a fair bit going on in the background politically over in the US. But as we're talking here, we seem to have a little bit more risk appetite coming through. Perhaps the next leg higher is going to be triggered by DAX breaking higher. You're going to see 12,500 pretty easily coming today if it can break that level. If it stalls, then maybe the rally runs out of steam a little early. Euro doesn't have to stop just yet though. Yeah, there's little reason to be selling again on this rally, right? If you're a seller, you'd have to acknowledge that the buyers have bought the dip, and this is likely going high. In fact, I would buy that right now. That's not a bad buy. That's not a bad little risk reward there. Do we want to go ahead and buy some euro? It's still at a nice level. Should have bought it earlier. 108.10 is talked about, not 108.08. Shit, you don't need a huge stop. Don't need a huge stop. I don't want a huge stop. I mean, you can put a huge stop in. I just don't want to be asking why did it fall. I'm happy at that. Alright, let's have a look at a little bit of research. I saw the boys in the bank chat room there talking, paying out Deutsche Bank's little trade of the week. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it. So trade of the week is short Aussie. I mean, that's not really what you want to be doing when risk is on. There's better ways of playing US dollar strength. Dollar yen. Yeah, I don't see Aussie going down pretty quickly. Talking about 2-year rate spreads, blah blah blah. I mean, this is mostly driven by the tax plan, so you can't get too excited by that. Yeah, that's relatively weak, I think. It's not what I would be trading off. Look, I wouldn't mind selling Aussie dollar just in general if tax plan's fine and stocks run out of steam, but you know that could bring us Aussie back to 76.50, 77. So there's no reason to get involved right here. Right. So obviously everyone's talking about the French election. But let's, this is ING's daily FX. Alright, US investors are once again being led by the promise of US tax cuts. Comments over the weekend suggest Trump team will on Wednesday publish some broad outlines of comprehensive tax reform and tax reduction. This may also shed some light on particular tax incentives to repatriate overseas corporate profits. Widely seen as positive for the US dollar and US equities. That repatriation of overseas earnings is really talked about a lot in the first Trump rally in December, and that should be, you know, most keenly seen by dollar yen flow. US yields, you know, those yields that we've been watching, they had a sharp rally this morning. That's why dollar yen's so strong. It's not normal that dollar, you know, euro dollar yen would bounce so high. It's not the French elections, guys. It's a tax plan. So you can see that open this morning, came in, bounced straight up. We've got to get back above this 2.3 and hold. So we'll see tomorrow. Sorry, Wednesday. I'm not streaming tomorrow. It's Anzac Day. But I'll be streaming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. If it can hold above 2.3, that will get the dollar yen bulls excited, and that's why we're back above 110. And I'm excited. I'm a dollar yen bull. Yeah, no use of dollar yen's up because of the yields and tax plan. Don't get me wrong, euro yen would be up regardless, right? But not to the extent that it is. Yeah. I mean, a lot of that dollar yen pop is on the back of this tax stuff. Alright, so these polls, if you're lucky enough to wake up early, you would have seen Andrew streaming this morning at the Open. Very well done by him to stay up so late on UK time. Alright, so these guys are talking about the Euro USD and potentially how much it rallies. US fiscal policy, so the tax plan may limit Euro USD upside. But we expect investors to shift to buy the dip strategy in USD. That's fine. Yeah, that's really what we're doing. So they're looking to buy initially around 108.20. Yeah, I mean, look, we can get that. Long euro yen seems to be also very popular in a lot of reports that I've read today. They're going for 118 buy for 124. Now the pound is struggling to rally, you know, sharply while the euro pound's rallying. But euro pound's an interesting trade. Into the ECB on Thursday, I'll probably be selling some euro pound if we get a nice enough level, because I like that, just generally selling the euro pound on rallies. We will bring that up for you. So around about 85.50 to 85.60, 85.50 to 85.70. I'll be happy to sell the euro pound up here come Thursday. I really like the range trading aspect of this particular pair, and that will probably coincide with a euro 110 sort of level. And so I don't mind selling up there into the ECB. I doubt even with a, you know, sort of benign ECB that the euro is going to overextend further without the pound also rallying. And the pound begins to rally, it's got further upside than the euro short term, right? Short term in terms of playing catch up with the market. So if there is a problem with the US tax plan and the US dollar's getting crushed, you know, pound's got a lot of room to move. So there's the euro, of course, but just the speed of it probably is going to be at least two-way action here on the euro pound. Yeah, if that makes sense. So happy to sell into rallies in the euro pound as a way of expressing potential euro weakness. or just overbought levels, rather than trying to pick the top in the Euro USD, if that makes sense. Geez, we're covering a lot of topics today. A lot of things going on. A lot of trades this week. Jesus, we're going to make or lose a lot of money, aren't we? It's going to be great. TradeAlerter. I mean, you probably don't have to pay anything, mate. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, in theory, you should be paying the tax man on any sort of profits. First worry about making money in Forex, you know, given how hard that is alone. And B, I wouldn't even be talking to them unless you made well over, 10k profits for the year. In no ways are they going to be able to find out very easily. Yeah, it's not stock markets, right? This is fairly off the books sort of stuff that you're doing. If you took a loss, then you can use that to lower your taxable income. As long as at some point you start to make money, they're not going to ask questions, and you can offset your some of those gains. Yeah, if you withdraw and you withdraw over 5,000 at a time, you're probably going to get flagged as just generally for money transfers. Look, I'm not giving you a taxation device, mate, but it's there's a lot of fees and sort of commissions in FX trading that you can deduct. I mean, at the end of the day, you should be able to figure out a way to not pay tax. CNG highlight 86. We just had a lot of trade ideas, mate. We just did a lot. You know, so the trades at the moment are long Kiwi yen, long pound. The trade today is long Euro yen and long Euro USD. We just entered the Euro USD with a take profit 109.80. Didn't put that in. Let's put that in. Not going to be greedy, and a relatively tight stop loss. Alright, so it's quite easy to place these trades inside the trade room. I'll just post that one up. No, I don't do signal tradings anymore. It's I'm happier trading by myself. Yeah, I did it with mixed success. I was pretty successful for a while, and then I was pretty terrible. I mean, you're good when you're good, and when you're bad, you know, everyone hates you. So it's just not worth it for me. But you never know. Maybe back in the future, I'll get a bit more mature and can handle the criticism, or just generally trading for others again. But no rush. I trade a lot better for myself, so. Okay. Trade is up, boys. Alright, let's have a look at Nomura. They exited one of their trades, which is short dollar yen. We've been resultantly bullish on the yen since the start of the year. Blah blah blah, but now they're getting out of it. German current account surplus is the highest in the world. Should pressure the euro higher. Blah blah blah. So they're just basically rotating out of short euro USDs, short euro yens, in dollar yens into long euro USDs. Jesus Christ, they entered at 116.20. These guys are fucking good, man. That's nuts. So they held that short dollar yen for 700 pips. And they're looking to enter a long USD, so probably medium term outlook, right? Well, we'll start following the mirror a little bit more, huh? So there's this little way that Le Pen can, without a scandal, Macron's in, right? You just can't. You can't not win. Pretty much. It's just, you can't expect left wing to vote for right wing, extreme right wing as Le Pen is. That's why the market reacted so aggressively, because it's game over sort of now. It's fully priced in a lead here, so it would require some sort of major reversal. You know, we're talking 20-point reversal. You know, that's just nuts, right? You can't close that gap, not easily. And it's remarkably steady for 4 months, so it requires scandal. All right, so these guys have they talked about in their previous little alert that they're going long euro. This is a little bit more. We expect the ECB to signal its intention to taper at the September meeting. Alright. So yeah, still a few meetings away, but something to keep in mind that definitely they will be turning a little bit more hawkish at some point this year. And that's going to support a broad euro rally, probably towards 115 to 120. That's one of my key sort of ideas. This year. Now that doesn't mean the dollar yen's going down, because it's euro yields going up. Same with US yields as they're raising rates in America, and it's Japan who have got 1% yields for 10 years. So they're the ones who will just be left behind. So euro yen is probably the best way to express. If I had to take one trade and close at the end of the year, it's euro yen. Like right now, buy euro yen, close at the end of the year. I just really think it's unlikely for it not to be high. We're not high at the moment, right? We've got significant upside to the rest. Alright, so their trades are, they're looking for 115 by year end. That's really not that hard to see. We've been between 105 and 115 for 4 years. You can do that, or 3 years. You can do that for, again, no problem at all. Above 115, they start to be a bit more ambitious, but they haven't even tried that. I suspect 120 is possible by the year end. $120 and on the euro USD, 120 on the dollar yen, puts us around 144 on the euro yen. Now, in terms of if the euro yen's been there before, it has 144. That's sort of, let's call it here on the 24th of April. All right. On the 24th of April. If it's still streaming at the end of the year, you'll be able to see whether, this is a big call. 144. Alright, that's ambitious. That is ambitious. 2,000 pips. 2,500 pips. Yeah, that's a bit. Didn't have to be that big, right? But yeah, but the next 1,000 pips is pretty easy to see in the euro yen. It's the last 1,000 pips which are a little harder. Requires stocks and everything to remain good, and Trump not to do something crazy. guys. We'll quickly check the technicals because the markets are moving so much. Yeah, no, it's just the long-term trade idea. We don't have to. I wouldn't bet anything on it. Alright, Euro USD easily gets back up to these levels if we can break above. 200-day moving average has been broken, downtrend has been broken, multiple reasons to be rallying, got fundamental reasons, yields increasing, very hard to, technically it looks strong too, so yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with long Euro, and I suspect any ECB led dovishness is going to be short term, so we'll see. Dollar yen's definitely finding support too. So pound just to 130 is not a big deal. I doubt you're going to get a long at 126.25. That's a pretty big pullback there. Aussie is just untradeable at the moment. Just not even worth it. Don't even bother. Kiwi I'm pretty constructive on to move back towards 71.80, but I'm playing it via the dollar yen road. Euro yen. This is the one. So immediately downtrend line here that did come into play on the last time we attempted to buy dollar euro yen for the same sort of reasons as the ECB yields were increasing. That should come into play again. But, you know, I'll be looking to buy any ECB-led dips as well. And as long as Trump's not completely messing it up on Wednesday, then this should be fine. If he does a really good job, then this is definitely going high. And Euro Pound, they're still remaining short on the Euro Pound. Okay. So interestingly, that, you know, when they're looking at the trade, sometimes the crosses don't always line up with the majors, and so it's you know, you can look at the targets on the majors and then say, well, you know, your cross can't work out like that. Yeah, how is it going to go down to 81.68 without the pound being at 140? If you also suspect the euro is going to rally, yeah. But we will let them go, the technical analysts. So we'll let them be. Don't need logic, just need charts. Give me charts. No time for your French elections or tax Trump plan. Just gonna look at the charts. It tells me everything I need to know. No, I'm not starting a technical analysis fundamentals war. But I will say this: all the best traders in the world are fundamental traders. I suspect bar none. I'm talking the greats of the hedge funds, the best hedge fund leaders. I mean, you can't get a strong conviction, can you, from an Elliott wave for 1,000 points? Seeing a change in outlook. All the traders I like are all very much big, large macro idea traders. No, we'll have a big debate one day. It'll be fun. We'll get opposing different teams. We'll see if Nick can organise it. I mean, respectfully, right? You know, if I was starting out though, I would definitely do technicals first, and it's just, I mean, technicals are going to get you 90% of the way, maybe 80% of the way, 90% of the way. It's just, I just never could stop at the technical stage. I really want to understand why the market's moving. But that's another debate for another day. Let's not get controversial. Alright guys, good luck with your trades. We'll see how we go in the next 24 hours, 48 hours. I suspect risk is going to be on until the very least Wednesday, when the tax plan's announced. If it's a disappointment, then obviously dollar, yen, and US stocks will go down, and US dollar will go down. But that doesn't hurt the euro, which will then be even more tempted to go higher. Alright, good luck. We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Oh, I started a big debate. I started a big war. I'm sorry. No, technical traders are good.